All right, welcome in. McElroy, Cubelic in the morning. Tuesday, August 19th, right here on Jox 94.5 as we begin the show discussing grills. No Paul Wall, but that was the topic of conversation for you in your house last night?
It was. Last night watching Commanders. By the way, I don't know. We're at a phase right now where every single player that comes on TV, Vince is like, do you know him? I'm like, yes. Have you met him? Yes.
Easy.
Do you ever get that?
Easy with the know him. No, I haven't bragged to my kids about.
I don't brag about him,
players.
but he asked the question because last night, Josh Johnson was in there for the Commanders. I played with Josh Johnson in Cincinnati. So I was like, Daddy's former teammate. He's playing quarterback still. He's 39 going on 40 and is on a 20-second different stop.
Really quick. Over under teams, honestly.
14.
At every level.
14.
No, well,
if you include every level.
After college, we'll say after college. 14?
14 in the NFL. I'm going to say 16 overall because he had one in the AAF and one in the XFL.
Keep going. I'll count them.
Anyways, so I'm like, all right, that's Daddy's former teammate. And Vince was like, so you know him? I'm like, yes, I know him. And that started the entire conversation. Do you know him? Do you know him? Do you know him? Also, a guy in my wedding is also on the Commanders. So it just happened to be one of those nights where he was all obsessed with the fact that his dad knew two players on the red team, and was really excited about it. Oh, he played at Alabama? Yes. Oh, he plays do you know him? You played with him in the Senior Bowl? Yes. Von Miller. That's Von Miller. He plays for the Commanders now. Yes. So it was kind of a weird night last night, but yeah, that was a big part of the questions. However, the most interesting question last night was, what's that in Jaden Daniels' mouth? Why are his teeth diamond? Well, that's called a grill, buddy. What? Can kids get those?
Yeah, they can.
They can? I mean, yeah. It's like, do they cost a lot of money? Yeah.
Just take a trip to Houston, Texas.
How do you get them? You just go to the dentist. And he takes your teeth out and puts in diamond teeth? I'm like, no, doesn't work like that. It's like a mouthpiece. He goes, can I have a diamond mouthpiece? I'm like, well, it's not really a mouthpiece. It was a series of 21 questions about grills last night. And concluded with, buddy, there's a lot of things you can have right now. You ask Santa for something, that's fine. Like you can ask for all this stuff. Getting a grill at 6, probably not going to happen. Probably
next
not going
trip
to happen.
to the dentist is going to be great, especially if you're not there, because there's going to be nobody to
I want to know
down.
at the pediatric dentistry office if they have like a grill manufacturer.
It can't just be everyone too, right? Like it's got to be. I mean, not every dentist has the ability to do that.
No, I think that's like a specialty dentist.
Wasn't Paul Wall's deal not like a kiosk in the mall?
Don't they have to like take a mold and then you obviously cast the mold?
I would imagine you have to do that. Yeah, but I don't think you have to be a dentist to do that. I made mouthpieces. Put it in the boiling water.
Oh,
I did that.
You should start a grill shop.
Don't need it. I have 25 stops now.
No, 22 stops in the NFL.
Okay. We also have the Sacramento Mountain Lions. Hadn't seen the tape. We have the San Diego Fleet, the Los Angeles Wildcats, all in there as well. And then technically Commanders and Redskins.
Oh, that's a good
count
point.
That as 2 also. So, but he has been with multiple franchises multiple times. That's a lot of work, man.
Yes.
2008, signed with Tampa Bay. It's 2025 and he's with the Commanders.
Yeah.
You think he's got a hard time moving?
I don't think so.
I bet that dude lives out of like one suitcase. Okay. On to the next one. Tell me where to go. I'll be there. What time does camp start? Good. Cool. You need an out route? Here it is.
There you go.
I just remember covering him with the Fleet, or did we have them? We had him with the Wildcats.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I wasn't on your crew that year. I was on your crew the next year. Norm Chow was the OC.
I feel like, was that 2020?
19. Or no.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 Wildcats.
Yeah.
And this is when we were just starting to listen to a lot of different people. And we learned pretty quickly that this back and forth between Norm Chow and Josh Johnson was about the only thing we were going to need for that game. Because Norm Chow would send the call in and Norm's audio would stay on. He's like, this kid's got no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then we'd leave Josh Johnson's audio on and he'd get the play call and he's like, man, we ain't running that expletive. Hey, hit this route. Go here. Give me this protection. And he would just literally go up and run whatever he felt like. Like the back and forth of what they did not hear each other saying was incredible.
Yeah.
Because Norm would call the play and he's like, this guy, there's no way we get this right. Because, Norm's like the nicest guy on earth. And then Josh would get in and be like, that ain't going to work. Let's do this. Like literally just running his own playbook. Just, we're going to that. It was incredible back and forth. But you talk about a journeyman. He's the picture in the dictionary of journeyman.
He was kind of like the quarterback in 2008 when he was drafted. He was a little bit like ahead of the curve from a mobile athleticism standpoint. He's very mobile, very athletic, can really run. Not a great thrower, but not super accurate. So kind of like fast forwarding back, like that was right when the backup quarterback started to need to become super mobile. And that's kind of where it's gone from now. It's kind of crazy what's happened for him. So good for him.
All right, to join us today with ESPN, the SEC Network, and can hear him weekly right here thanks to Craneworks, it's Paul Finebaum.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Paul Finebaum on Mac and Cube in the morning is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it, the big dog's got it. Now, Paul Finebaum.
Paul, this is going to be known for discussing the Big Ten. 20 thoughts when you
to get off the ground hysterically. Intelligent commission. He is in. I feel bad. He his conference somewhere. A problem with the. You find enough.
How does that make any sense, Paul? Like, where does this automatic qualifier decision come from?
Well, I mean, listen, it seems TV directed, and I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we all work for television networks, but I think you have to be realistic when you're involved in these type of conversations. And I think it's fair to say that Championship Saturday is in danger if the playoff gets expanded. I mean, that's not a secret, but it just is, this thing just makes no sense. And I mean, we can sit here and beat a dead horse about what you just said, Greg. But I mean, I think but they don't have enough decent teams. And I think a lot of people just looked at Indiana last year and they had a really great season. But is that sustainable? And unless you have what the SEC had, it's not. And I know that sounds like, okay, we're just getting the script and reading it. We're not. The SEC was made fun of last year because they only had 3 schools in the CFP. But nobody mentions the 3 that were at the cut line and in the conversation. And then if you want to bloat the whole thing up like Petiti is proposing, then that opens the door for a bunch of 8-4 teams as well.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us thanks to Craneworks Weekly. You just brought up, Paul, kind of where Championship Saturday is going. It was a topic of conversation at Media Days. It has been the last couple of years. Kirby Smart's been very vocal, essentially saying, why are we here? Now that you've had a little bit of time to sit back on that being a real part of the conversation in Atlanta this year, where are we going with Championship Saturday, in your opinion?
I think we're moving away from it, and that's fine. I mean, it was different last year, and I'm not gonna get in the way of the parade. I mean, everybody loves that weekend and what it represents, but we all knew what was going on last year. It was a great exhibition. It went to overtime. It was fantastic. And like in the NFL, Georgia and Texas were playing for seeds, and sometimes that really matters a lot. It can often determine the champion or the Super Bowl, depending on where you begin the process. But I think it has a few more years, but no, it doesn't have a long shelf life. We're not going to be doing that 10 years from now.
What I'm trying to figure out, Paul, is why do we feel the need to expand at all? The more I think about it, the more I think an expansion to 16 is really unnecessary. And you can continue to prioritize the regular season, or you can expand, and now all of a sudden 3-loss teams are being rewarded like they would have been last year with Miami, who I know only had 2 losses, but Miami would have 2, but Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss all had 3, all would have been in if we had 16, thus allowing teams to win just 75% of their regular season games into the postseason. Why do we want to expand to 16 to begin with? Why don't we just leave it at 12?
Well, I agree, and Greg, you were there every step of the way last year, and by the end, it felt exhausting, and that's primarily because we had never done it before. But I mean, there were times when you're going from week 2 to 3, you're like going, is this ever going to end? And that's not how it should feel. And by the way, that's not how the NFL feels. But the NFL has been doing this a lot longer. I think we ought to stay where we are until we can figure out the next move. And that's the problem right now. While some leagues are being patient, Petiti just seems like he's in a big hurry to get to the, if you're on the food line, he just wants to go right to the T-bone steak and skip the salad. And I think that comes from his background. I mean, he's been in. Listen, let's not forget, he's a Harvard educated attorney who spent time on Wall Street. He spent time at television networks, and he spent time at the MLB. He doesn't understand the nuances of college football and college basketball and things like that. And I think when you just parachute in from Madison Avenue or Wall Street, you are not going to be prepared for how the game is really played, where you have other commissioners, Sankey, Jim Phillips, to make the ACC and the SEC, who have been in intercollegiate athletics their entire life. They understand how it works.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Thanks to Craneworks. I want to go a little bit of a different direction with you because we like getting your opinions on head coaches and bigger picture topics here. Away from the SEC, away from the Big Ten. Greg and I have been pretty high in Clemson this entire offseason. A lot of folks, it's taken them a little while to sort of get on board. I'm hearing more people now when discussing Clemson come completely full circle saying, well, Dabo's been there before. He's won a title, so that's a massive advantage for Clemson heading in, when a lot of these same folks the last few years have essentially been pointing fingers at him laughing because he can't figure out college football. Is it a real advantage what Dabo has done in his past heading into this season based on where we are or maybe even what he has?
Yeah, I mean, for a relatively young guy, Dabo looks very old school and very smart right now. And I've been critical as well. So most of us are in the camp of having tentatively written him off. But he has his best team probably since 2019 and or 2018. One of those years when Trevor Lawrence was roaming the sidelines. Both of them, to be exact. And quite frankly, I think they're among the 2 or 3 most likely national championship contenders. They have it all. They're going to, because of that first game will be magnified even more for them than for LSU. I think there's more pressure on LSU just in terms of the first game jinx. But Clemson won't see many more opponents like that, and I think that's why if should they win that game, they and the winner of Texas and Ohio State are really in the best position in terms of what we're thinking. But I admire Dabo in terms of what he's done. I mean, he went from a couple of years ago to being about as cold a stock as you could find to now he looks like one of these internet bubble stocks of 25 years ago. I mean, he has really done a remarkable job. And I think, remember, this was a guy that 2 years ago didn't get a phone call from Alabama, his alma mater.
Paul, help me out for 1 second with Dabo. Kind of piggybacking off of week 1 outcomes. Because we have the LSU, we have the Clemson. That game is significant. We also know there's 2 other games involving top 10 teams, Notre Dame, Miami, and then you also have Texas and Ohio State. In the event in which one of those teams, I just gave you 6 teams, gets blown out, doesn't matter which one, is there a situation where if one of those teams loses convincingly, a la LSU 2 years ago to Florida State, a la Michigan to Texas last year, where it gets sideways, it's not super competitive, where there's a significant fallout? Who do you think of all the coaches participating in those games has the most on the line?
Brian Kelly. And even though we all know what he has after that, he's the coach, I think, in this first weekend that's probably the most vulnerable because of everything that has already been said, and also his schedule. Nobody else has remaining games like Brian Kelly does, especially coming back in 2 or 3 weeks later against Florida. So you start thinking, if you get blown out there and you lose another game, you're down to your last swing of the bat, perhaps. With all kinds of schools coming up, like Texas A&M and especially Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Everyone else has a path back. Even Clemson. I mean, they have. I think they're at Louisville. They've got 1 or 2 other games. South Carolina, but Ohio State essentially has what? Penn State left, and then a possibility of a Big Ten championship game. I think Brian Kelly would clearly be the topic of conversation Monday morning after that one on this program.
Where's Brian Kelly with LSU right now, Paul? Because you probably heard the comments from Marcus Pierce a couple weeks ago. We played him on this show, essentially saying this crowd is ready to turn on him. I know it hasn't necessarily been the highest of success, but he's done some really good things. I don't know what the realistic expectation is to just be undefeated every year, maybe, but is he on some sort of perennial hot seat, either with the fans or the administration right now?
It's kind of a split decision there, and I was with Marcus when he said that a week or 2 ago. And what Marcus was reacting to was just the amount of how fans will react. We understand that, but I don't believe the administration there is going to overreact. Scott Woodward is heavily vested in that system. You have a new president who's a big fan of all the athletic teams, and I just don't think there's a heavy appetite down there because I don't think there have been the kind of missteps and misstatements and miscalculations as we've seen elsewhere. Now, the problem is if this season is, you can't ever answer a question in August about a season that turns into a disaster. I've seen Alabama coaches start the season ranked number 3 in the country and they'll only win 3 games, and of course they were fired. But I think Brian Kelly, as long as this season seems successful, is going to be back next year.
Paul, always appreciate the time. Thanks for making up your visit from yesterday. Look forward to catching up next week.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
There you go. Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He's with us every week thanks to Craneworks, making up a couple of Mondays on Tuesdays, but he'll be with us weekly as we head into college football season. We'll react to a little bit of what Paul had to say there and some of the directions that he was going. Here's what we got for you today. Rick Neuheisel, he's had some interesting comments for Jackson Arnold, Auburn quarterback. Hugh Freeze had some interesting comments about Auburn quarterbacks. UNLV head coach Dan Mullen joins us at 8:30. We asked about the quarterback competition. We asked about some of the veterans on the team as we went through the roster on Jox. Before we do that, don't forget about Train. Boy, it was warm yesterday walking around. The heat and humidity is back. We had a nice week that it was calm. Don't let it affect your family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand 11 consecutive years, and they're the efficient cooling partner here at Jox. Find a comfort specialist near you at Train.com. It's hard to stop a Train. We'll Jackson Arnold next right here on Jox. Welcome back in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Always appreciate you guys tuning in a few moments. Talk some Auburn football. You'll hear from Hugh Freeze in a little bit as well. You can always listen online, joxfm.com, apps in your app store. Go download that today. It can take you to the YouTube page. You can watch us live on YouTube every morning. You go get the app, and you can just listen live right there. You can tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jox skill. A lot of different ways to listen now statewide on your radios as well.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers. You can go and get a GMC Sierra 1500 SLT, get $14,000 off the sticker price. No one else can beat that price. You can go and get a Buick Encore GX, which is a nice, economical, sporty SUV. Highly recommend it. You can get it under $25,000 by going and seeing Bill Smith. It's unbelievable. The deals that you'll find are across the board unbeatable. No one else can touch them. That's why 75% of their business repeat customers. That's why they've won GMC Dealer of the Year a remarkable 8 times overall, including the last 5 years as Dynasty Brewing right up there in Coleman. Take a short drive to Coleman. You'll be glad you did. You can also shop online, have delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
Hugh Freeze, first off, just on their scrimmage assessment from Friday. Didn't get to this yesterday, so his thoughts on how the scrimmage went.
We're affecting the quarterback, at least in against us. We are, but we've got to cage him once he's out of there, or that can create explosive plays. I think both Jackson, Deuce, and Ashton, all three are really good at keeping their eyes up when those things happen. And
there's guys that are running through contact, guys that are getting some extra yardage after contact. I think that's always a really good. Anytime I hear the term dirty run, it means that they're practicing the way they should be practicing at this point of the season.
Sounds good.
I know that those are runs that are hard to come by, you're earning it, you're running through contact. That, to me, when you get a bunch of those, that's a good spot to be in, especially with backs that are, for the most part, they're not bruisers by any stretch of the imagination. So it's kind of nice to hear that. And that's not including the quarterback. He's going to be part of the run game as well.
Do you feel good or concerned about him saying that the quarterback breakdown runs were so effective? We'll discuss it all with the former college head coach right after this on Jox. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 7:31, Tuesday, August 19th, right here on Jox Live Higginbotham Hotline. Welcome in Rick Neuheisel, former college head coach, and now can hear him weekdays on Sirius XM. Coach, I heard some of the things you were saying about Jackson Arnold last week, and I wanted to have you on our show just to talk. Let's go to this question first. We have debated this. We've kicked this back and forth the entire offseason. When I watched Jackson Arnold last year, he had a problem letting go of the football. That's not something.
In the preseason game, I think they beat Buffalo 38-0. All of a sudden looked like he was throwing with his feet. I mean, his footwork was perfect. The ball was coming out on time. Now, it's a preseason game and probably some pretty vanilla looks from Buffalo. You're not working on your disguise in preseason. But the bottom line is Caleb was using his feet, and we all go back to Caleb Williams as a college player and how much he used to love to extend plays. And Jackson Arnold was a little bit like that in that Oklahoma offense. And you can say it's because the offensive line wasn't great. They had a lot of injuries. You can say it was because they lost a lot of receivers. So he was not real comfortable with who was playing on the outside for him. But at the end of the day, the ball has to come out when your feet hit the mark. It's like dancing. 1, 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, hit. And I think that's what Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold are working on. And I can't remember a coach needing a player to play well and a player needing a quarterback coach and coach to believe in him more than these two. These guys are going to go either to great things or down with the ship together.
Coach, we debated on the show last week, is Jackson Arnold the most important player in college football? And it's like what you just said, because it feels like there's so much on the line for both. Both have so much to prove right now. Pressure on both. Not saying that, national championship if he plays well or 2 wins if he doesn't, but just it feels like when we talk about individuals that just need to be good, need to be great, need to figure it out, he might be the most important player in the country.
He's as important as any player in the country. That's an absolute fact. It's a big year for Hugh Freeze. A chance to prove that he is what they thought he was when he got there on the plains. It's a golden opportunity to jumpstart a career for Jackson Arnold. And Hugh believes in him. I talked to Hugh at the SEC Media Days. He absolutely believes in him and thinks that, what his eyes tell him is that this guy can be a special player. I know he's worked hard to put together a receiving crew at Auburn that is, unlike maybe anything in the past. These guys are all, really good players, and a chance to blow the top off the defensive secondary. This all has the makings of a really, really happy ending for both Jackson Arnold and Hugh Freeze, and fingers crossed for those who root for the Tigers that's exactly what takes place.
The reality is, though, Coach, it's great to have all this good work.
Greg, this is what I love about you. You always come in with the dose of reality.
Well, I try not to. This time of year, it's always glass half full. But since you guys are just, having a little bit of an Auburn parade, I might as well throw a little water on the fire.
A little shade, a little shade.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Subtle shade. Coach, here's my thing: is that it's all well and good we can sing Kumbaya during the during the preseason, and I'm glad to hear that Hugh Freeze has faith in him. I think there's a lot of positives surrounding the situation. I'd be surprised if Jackson doesn't have a good year. The problem that I have is he's going to be playing against Dave Aranda week 1. He's going to have some guys walking around. He's had some gray area in coverage, and he might throw 2 picks. How do you get the quarterback out of the dumpster when he's back after an offseason, 8 months of building his confidence up? First game, real live bullets, he experiences real adversity, and he reverts right back to the guy he was once before. So how do you deal with that?
That is a fantastic question. And you, having played the position, know that you have to have amnesia. You have to be able to take the lesson learned from something that confused you, that caused you to throw into coverage and have a ball picked off or something, and go to the sideline, download what happened, but go out there with the same measure of confidence on the next drive that you had when you began the game, and as if you'd just thrown a touchdown pass. And therein lies, we don't know what sort of whiplash Jackson Arnold has from last year and the disappointment of his time at Oklahoma. We can put it on, failed offensive coordinators. We can put it on a, shoddy offensive line or lack of real talent at wide receiver. And we can all believe that everything's fine. But at the end of the day, the confidence level of Jackson Arnold is exactly what Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold are working on a daily basis. And to get over the hiccups, which invariably they happen. Even Joe Burrow in that magical year had a couple of picks, right? You have to be able to come back out, understand what just took place, put that in the memory banks, and then move on. One of the coverages that always bugged me as a quarterback, and I'm sure it bugged you, was soft cover 2, right? Where there's 2 safeties, but that corner backed up. Coach, that corner backed up as if he was in a third and then sat at that 11 or 12-yard mark, right? Which is why your eyes have to be on the DB, but not the receiver. You know where the receivers go, and the DB's got, and then you've got to be able to move through a deal, which again gets back to the feet and your eyes being ahead of your feet, meaning that if once the first choice is gone, your eyes are moving to number 2 before your feet go to number 2, so that if your eyes say number 2 in your progression is the guy you need to be throwing to, now your feet correspond and the ball comes out almost as if it was the first choice, but in accordance to how the pattern's laid out. And this is where Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold have to be on the same page. But that confidence thing is something that they are working on from the moment they said hello to each other. I mean, these guys need each other like Sonny needed Cher. I guarantee it. That's what's being. This relationship is the cornerstone of Auburn's fortunes this year.
Coach, I'm going to give Greg credit. He said something on this show. We asked you Freeze about it. We asked Jackson Arnold about it. Coach Freeze obviously is going to have a different answer because he's coaching the young man right now. But Greg laid out for us one day when we were discussing Jackson's issues last year, and it's in there. Go back to that bowl, the Alamo Bowl. He threw 3 picks in that game, but finished with like 380. And he just came back and kept firing.
That's right.
It's in there.
That's right.
And Greg laid out, like, y'all don't know what it's like to play quarterback for a defensive-minded coach. The message constantly is don't screw it up. Don't mess this up. Don't hurt our field position. Don't give the ball back. Don't hurt the team. Don't do this.
Excellent point.
And I started thinking about guys like you and Jeff Lebby and Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. Like, you think those guys are ever delivering any sort of message like that at all to a quarterback? The answer is obviously no. Do you, in your experience, ever have anything like that? A guy that came from somebody who was pounding in that don't, be careful, be careful, be careful, and you had to sort of you had to turn that around. You had to re-engineer that.
I didn't coach many transfer quarterbacks. That was not part of my career path. We had Troy Aikman, which was the first guy that I coached who transferred from Oklahoma after breaking his leg. He turned out okay.
Yeah, great coach.
Okay. Good arm.
But Troy's confidence level, at Oklahoma, they didn't teach a lot of what was happening on the other ball. Everything was a progression read, meaning you throw it to this guy. If he's not open, you throw it to this guy. And they didn't teach much what was going on the defensive side. Once you start teaching defense like it's, you're playing poker and everybody's holding a hand and you've got to figure out what's in everybody's hand. And now you know what their cards are based on the tells. Then the confidence level goes through the roof. So that when Troy started realizing what was happening on the other side and how it corresponded to the call that we had made and where the ball should go, the confidence level went through the roof. So it's really a question of what Jackson Arnold was being taught, whether it was Seth Luttrell or whomever took over when Seth got let go at Oklahoma, what they were being taught and what now Hugh is teaching about where to go with the ball from a standpoint of through the progression, or is it a read-based deal? And his confidence level will go along with that. But at the end of the day, I can understand where you feel like this is kind of like almost, going to a shelter to get an animal, right? That's been abused. And now you want to make sure that this animal feels cared for.
Rick, last one before we get you out of here. Kind of looking on the other side of the coin, other side of the state. I know we've talked a lot about Auburn, but just your thoughts on Ty Simpson and and the circumstances surrounding him now getting the job, second crack at the competition, this time he gets it done. What do you think is a fair expectation for what he might be capable of this year?
Well, this is another interesting question because I think there's a number of quarterback situations around the country, Greg, that they're going to coach around the quarterback a little bit early in the season until they kind of know what they have when the actual live action is happening. Listen, when you read what Kalen DeBoer said about Ty and his deserving this chance because of his loyalty to the program, that isn't him winning the job. That is him having been there long enough so he gets first chance. And to me, it's going to be Ty taking the reins and showing the coaching staff that I'm no longer just trying to do what you're coaching. I'm actually trying to win games. I remember vividly being in a quarterback competition with a guy by the name of Steve Bono, who played 15 years in the NFL, that I was just trying to do what Homer Smith was teaching and just keep doing it over and over again so that I showed that I could do it better than the competition. Eventually, you get in the game and you realize, I got to do what's necessary to win a football game. I got to keep from throwing interceptions. I got to take what they give me and stay ahead of the chains. And every now and then when I see an opportunity, I got to take a shot and make a play. And when you actually go out there and do what we all did in high school, trying to get to this level and become that kind of winning player, that's when you take over a team. Right now, they're just trying to do what the play calls for, be as error-free as possible. That's just playing a play rather than the game. And that will be the whole card for Ty Simpson if he's going to be a great Alabama quarterback. He's got to learn. He's got to go in there and say, this is my job. I'm going to go win the game.
Coach, great stuff. Thank you so much for hopping on with us this morning. That's exactly what we wanted to hear, is just how some of these situations are handled and what you think they may look like this upcoming season. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
I look forward to it, boys. You guys are on top of it. And roll Tide and War Eagle. How about that?
We'll take that, Coach.
Well
At
done,
least
Coach.
the second half of that. So, yes. Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Rick Neuheisel.
I love he knows which one to prioritize.
Well, he leaves us with the one that's most important, though. That's the one that he goes out on. And so I think that's what leaves the lasting impression there. So we know exactly what
So
that
you're
means.
suggesting first to worst, second to best.
I don't know if I've ever stated that in my life, but
Sounds
sure,
like
if
you're
that's what
trying
you
to
need,
say.
go for it.
That's what you're trying to say.
Alphabetical order.
I'm Joe with what Coach told us, and I'll add a little bit more value right here on Jox. I'll introduce you to our friend and wealth advisor, Tad Hill, your trusted retirement planning partner. He's the co-host of the Retire with Freedom radio and TV, designated by Forbes as the #1 financial securities professional in the state of Alabama, multiple years running. Tad, what do you have for us today? All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 7:51 here on Jox. Really cool conversation there with Rick Neuheisel, GMAC, on preparing your quarterback, getting your quarterback ready, quarterback coming from different circumstances, how Rick Neuheisel maybe would have handled that, managed that, and to hear him with a little bit more of the Hugh Freeze philosophy on offense, sort of how you would get that done.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the bigger things for Jackson Arnold, at least early in the season, is to maybe take a little less, maybe be a little more risk averse, and then ramp things up as the season goes along. Remember last year, early in the year, the wide receivers were not super buttoned up. It led to some mistakes. The wide receivers were not great from a route running angle standpoint. Led to a couple mistakes. Like, it might be a bit of a work in progress early, and it's not going to lead to me pressing the panic button. It's just an acknowledgement of this thing is going to continue to get better as the season goes along. That's the ticket, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. I don't want him to force it early. If that leads to picks, fine, do it. But that's because I don't want to see them lose games by just gift-wrapping it and giving it away.
Okay. Well, let me know if you're concerned with these things. Hugh Freeze has had to say. He was asked over the weekend about Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight potentially getting in games this year.
Think that there's a place for both, depending on the scenario in the game. Without giving away too much, I think, there's a place for both of those guys that you could play to their strengths, and we won't be afraid to do that.
All right, so maybe utilization in different areas, how that might happen. Then last night on Tiger Talk, Greg, the potential of all three playing in a game came up.
Could we see all three quarterbacks
Yes.
Friday night in Baylor?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's strengths, and you put on Ashton's film from Stanford, and I mean, this guy ran away from
Right.
some really good teams like Clemson and Notre Dame, and I mean, some of those runs were. I mean, he's got an extra gear. And so, there's always a place for that. And then, Deuce right now, as far as he can make any throw on the field, and he has a poise about him for a freshman that's unique, not as far along in all the protection sets and identifying coverages and maybe getting us into the right check just yet, but getting better and better at that too.
When are conversations like that good, unique, a positive, and when do they become concerning?
I mean, I'm okay with playing guys because you've had to get Ashton to come transfer to begin with. I don't want him to play against Baylor unless we're up huge, right? That'd be my approach if I were the coach. But I'd try to fit him in there some. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Give those guys a couple reps, get them a look, especially if things are spinning a little bit for their starter. I don't think there's any
some of
problems
this maybe
with that.
gamesmanship of forcing Dave Aranda to say, okay, if the freshman's in, let's look at this. If the backup's in, let's look at this.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to change because their skill set's not too dissimilar. Do you anticipate
I would
changing?
ask this question to our listeners. If you're an Auburn fan, do you want to see all three quarterbacks play against Baylor? You've heard us talk about how important this game is. You've heard about how critical and how difficult this game is going to be for Auburn. Do you want to see all three? I don't think it's a positive if all three quarterbacks play, personally.
Not against Baylor, like I said. Not against Baylor.
I'm referencing specifically against Baylor.
No.
Unless you're up 3 touchdowns in the fourth, you want to get guys in, get them reps. I think Hugh has also gone out of his way to get guys involved, whether that's force them the football or get them extra playing time. I think he understands the game, so to speak. So from that perspective, I respect it and I get it. And I think it's also not bad to talk about it to where maybe it gets back to some of those players of like, oh, he's got a plan to get me in. Great. Maybe those kids kind of think that that's happy, makes them happy, whatever that is. So I don't know. We'll see. Kid Bama Kid tweeting into the show. Cole, do you think Auburn will retire your number? I'm going to go no. But we appreciate the question. Also, Greg Hendricks tweeting in, what I heard from Freeze is the defense couldn't stop the offense. Did you take that from his comments?
No.
In the previous segment? I didn't take that either.
Not what I've heard either.
right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Hour number 2, Tuesday, August 19th, right here on Jox. He's going to join us every week at this hour, at this time, to discuss everything Auburn. We've been talking a lot of Jackson Arnold. We've heard from Hugh Freeze. We'll ask Andy Bertram about some of that conversation from last night, and he's with us every week thanks to our friends at Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, rental works, yeah, the big dog's got it.
The voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Bertram, on Mac and Cube in the morning is brought to you by Craneworks. Lifted, buy and rented, the big dog's got it. Now, Andy Bertram.
Andy, we were just commenting on one of your questions to Hugh Freeze last night about playing 3 quarterbacks potentially against Baylor. I'm not sure exactly where most Auburn fans' comfort level would be with that or how that would have to happen. What did you in that question?
Oh, we started talking about Jackson Arnold and his development, and I think that Coach Freeze likes where Jackson is. He talked about the abilities, the capabilities of both Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight. And I asked the question, could all 3 play in the game on Saturday? Or, excuse me, next Friday, the 29th. And he said, yes. I don't. Now, listen, I'm not going to try and put words in Coach Freeze's mouth. I don't think he was talking about a rotation of these. I don't think he was talking about, one series you're going to see Jackson, the next series you'll see Deuce, the next series you'll see Ashton. I believe that was the case. Comfortable, Deuce and after part. I can understand folks. That was the intent.
Understandable. The quarterback consistency really come out. Happens. Oh, and what can be really. Do you feel like his
that was a last night in both Ashton in a ball game? Since the guy, the freshman tailback from Auburn High School who declared early, not just declared a semester early, declared a semester and a half early. He would be a senior at Auburn High School this year. And I think they've liked what they have seen from him. So I think that's one aspect that has surprised folks in his development as a true freshman.
How would you assess?
With regard, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're good. I thought you were done there. My bad.
Okay. No. I think Auburn has liked what it has seen from its defensive interior, because that was a question mark going in. You've got Falk and Crawford and Amaris Williams and Chris Murray and Jamonte Waller and Jared Smith, all those guys on the edge, but we didn't talk a lot about the middle two, at nose tackle and defensive tackle. I think they like what they have seen from those guys. I think they like the depth that they have seen from Bobby Jamison, Travis, and Malik Blackton, and Dallas Walker, and Jay Hardy, and Malik Autry, and Darian Smith, and Zykevis. Well, I think they like that depth. So I think that's one area that has moved forward, has given Auburn some more confidence in that defensive front this year.
It feels like that to me. I mean, some people have kind of panicked about the offensive line. I actually feel like it's more of an endorsement about a group that I'm hoping to take a step. I think the offensive line's going to be fine, but the defensive line, especially on the interior, was something that we've been kind of waiting for. So, look, I know you can look at it. It's dependent, glass half full, glass half empty, whatever you want to look at it. But to me, having the defensive line be more disruptive than the offensive line being able to protect is probably a welcome sight this year, knowing the offensive line's likely a strength. Is that fair?
Last night on Tiger Talk, he talked about the offensive line and the fact that all of these guys are on draft boards, and that hasn't happened in quite some time. And you can add Tuchel Miller to that list as well. Then he talked about in one-on-ones, especially with the tackles, guys like Keldrick Falk and Kieran Crawford have been very disruptive with Auburn's offensive tackles. And that's an area that he feels has to get better. On the other side, he said, even when that defensive front is penetrating the offensive line at this point, and this is the term that Coach used last night on Tiger Talk. They've got to cage the quarterback better than they have. So I mean, he likes this offensive line. He likes this defensive line. He's talked about where both of these teams, sides of the ball, have to continue to get better as Auburn gears up for that opener at Baylor on the 29th.
Andy Burcham.
I like the offensive line, guys. I like the fact that the middle three, Wade, Wright, and Luke, are there. That we're not seeing Dylan Wade having to bounce in and out from guard to tackle or maybe even at center so far. So I like this offensive front right now. Listen, I know we're a week and a half away from the opener at this point, and that's when we find out for sure about this group. But I like the potential of this offensive front.
I'm absolutely with you. I feel like it's going to be a strength of the team for the first time in a long time. Behind them at running back, it sounds like there are positives with multiple guys. Do you have any sense of the order or how carries may be distributed early in the season?
Yeah, I don't know about the number of carries and that. I think if there is a pecking order right now, guys, I think it's Damari Alston at 1, Jeremiah Cobb at 2, Darrell Robinson at 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Omar Mabson at some point. I think Alvin Henderson's been fighting some injuries, but I think in that order, Alston, Cobb, Robinson, and Mabson are the guys at this point. They like Alston. They like all facets of his game in pass blocking, in catching out of the backfield, how he runs the ball. I think Jeremiah Cobb probably has a different speed once he gets into the open field. I do think, and Hugh Freeze mentioned this last night on Tiger Talk, that he does think that Jeremiah Cobb takes a big step forward. I'm not saying he's a big step forward beyond Damari Alston, just takes a big step forward for Auburn. And then we'll see what Darrell Robinson. I mean, Darrell was not here, or he was here, but was injured during the spring, and so he's just getting his first action through preseason camp. And now with classes starting yesterday, they get into the routine of class and everyday practice at this point. So I think Alston, Cobb, Robinson, and Mabson in that order at this point.
Let's look at just kind of this week 1 game against Baylor. I know we're going to hit it again next week, but I don't think Cole and I can possibly build this one up anymore. The importance, the challenges, how big this game is for Baylor and frankly for the Big 12 as a whole. What's been the messaging from the staff to the team about Baylor, about the importance of starting fast and being at your best week 1, because anything less than that will potentially lead to a loss?
I think, and I can't speak to the message to the team because I'm not privy to that, but I think the message to everybody else, and we all know that Hugh Freeze is pretty transparent with his thoughts. I think this is a huge game for Auburn. When you play this game and then you come home and you've got 2 games against Ball State and South Alabama, and then you start the gauntlet of the Southeastern Conference. And it starts with 2 straight games on the road at Oklahoma and A&M. Then you get the open date first or the second weekend. You have Georgia, then Missouri, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, before you get to the 22nd November and Mercer, and then, of course, the Iron Bowl on the 29th. I think for a confidence standpoint, I think for a momentum standpoint, I think it's an enormous game for this team right now. With all the questions that folks have about this Auburn team, I think this Auburn team wants to go out and prove a lot of people wrong. I mean, this is a game that both Auburn and Baylor are receiving votes, but are not in the top 25. I don't think that matters to these two teams. This is a huge game for both. Is it a do or die game? I'm not going to say that, because we've seen a lot of teams lose early and rebound and play well. But I think just from a confidence standpoint, from a momentum standpoint, I think this is an enormous game for Auburn. It's Auburn's first road game in an opener, true road game, where you're playing on an opponent's home field since 2002 when Auburn opened at USC. So this is just, Auburn has had those neutral site games down in Arlington and a couple in Atlanta, but this is the first time that Auburn has opened up at an opponent's home field since 2002.
It's going to be a fun one. Excited for you to be on the call for it. We'll get your thoughts on it next week when you join us, but we know each and every week, Andy, you're going to be joining us thanks to our friends at Craneworks.
And Craneworks is the most trusted name for crane and equipment rental in the Southeast for over 30 years. They have a fleet of cranes ranging from 2.5 tons to 500 tons. Craneworks also offers trained and certified operators and riggers to make sure the job is done right. Locations in Birmingham, Nashville, Mobile, and Huntsville. Visit craneworks.com for more info.
Thanks, Andy. We'll catch up with you next week.
Guys, have a great day. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Andy Burcham, bringing it.
Ooh.
First visit of the season. Excited. I like the energy. Let's go back to some of what Andy said in reference to the Auburn running back situation, the Auburn quarterbacks, just kind of get our thoughts on because it is warm outside.
Well, it's been a one-stop shop for me for so many different things around the house. Plumbing, electrical, they do an amazing job with that, but it's the HVAC system that is always put to the test this time of year, man. It's unbelievable how hot it's been the last few days. My home is about as comfortable as it's ever been because we have been proactive in making sure everything would be running smoothly this summer because we brought Polar Bear Services out in June, make sure everything was running smoothly. Then we're good to go. Do it again before things turn a little cold here in a couple months. Just be proactive, be out in front of it so your home heating system won't be put to the test when the weather starts to turn. They're always so reliable. Weston's done a great job of building this company on a foundation. Greatly appreciate the service that we get for work they do around the home. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
All right, when we come back, more on the Auburn quarterback, running back situations, and an all-time member of the name team in college football. Next, right here on Jox. Just saw the commercial on ESPN for college football season begins August 23rd. Yeah, that's right around the corner. So that who's the first team that's going to go week -1?
What?
Week -1.
Oh, so from 0 to -1?
I don't know who's going to go week -1 first.
That feels like a Stanford thing. Stanford goes
Hawaii.
week 0, yeah.
Stanford, Hawaii, week -1.
You gotta get you probably need different time zones involved in that somehow for whatever reason.
I got news for you. I can tell you who's not calling that game.
Who?
Your crew or my crew?
McDonough. I heard McDonough on Red Sox last night.
Yeah, he's doing some Red Sox.
Well, yesterday afternoon, like my kids watched the Apple TV Plus has an awesome deal where it shows you all the highlights from all the MLB games, but it's not just like the 3 home runs.
Yeah.
It's the big plays and like how runs were generated. And so like my 5-year-old loves it. He has to watch it every day. And I was like, oh, that's Sean McDonough. And they thought I was talking like, where? At bat? I was like, no, definitely not at bat. No.
Well, yeah, he does. I don't know how many, maybe like 10 Red Sox games a year, thereabouts. Almost always at home. So yeah, it's not that.
Is that the goal? Is to get to the point where you can just be that selective about what you do?
Yeah.
Is that the Howard Stern treatment?
Yes.
Okay.
I will work from home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I will not go 4 hours. I'll go 3 hours, and you'll like it. And by the way, you're not canceling my $500 million contract. Thanks for showing up. Some days we might go 4 hours and 15 minutes. Other days we might go 2 hours and 10 minutes. You'll just be glad to have me. Don't feel like I'll ever reach that point in my career, but man, it must be nice.
One can dream.
Must be nice to say, you know what, I'm going to give you. Here are the 5 SEC games I'm going to be doing this year.
Bare minimum.
And if you need me for a playoff game, if it's not up north, sure, I'm in. National championship game on radio, I guess. Depends on what else is going on, but okay.
Could have a basketball game that day.
Roll over NFL Monday night games? Yeah, I'll give you a doubleheader, I guess.
I can do one of those.
Possibly. All right, which brings me to week -1 games. Whoever goes there obviously makes me think of like freezing temperatures. I forgot to bring this up yesterday when I was doing prep for my first game. Maybe an all-timer on the names list for college football this year. Georgia State has a safety named D. Icy Hopkins.
As in like F. Murray Abraham, like
As
initial?
in the letter D
-huh.
-ICEY Hopkins.
Oh, okay.
Which brings me to a very important question about this. Is he cold or not?
Not like DeColdest Crawford.
He is absolutely the coldest.
You could tell
we
that.
know that.
Right, yeah.
That is clearly stated in the name. This is some reverse psychology happening that I'm very confused about. Is he icy or has he been de-iced?
The de-icer gets rid of the ice.
When you de-ice your windshield,
Right,
they're when you sit there on the tarmac and they're saying we're de-icing the plane, we're taking the ice off of it. So de-icy, was he once icy and now he is not?
That's possible.
I have a feeling that there may be some individuals in the fourth quarter of this game have to have this conversation. And based on the other team involved in this game, they're going to be really freaking pissed off about it. I'm just going to go ahead and let y'all know that. But it's probably coming. Don't let this kid get a pick 6 down 42 in the fourth. Y'all going to hit mute quick on that one. Promise you.
Yeah.
You wonder why Oxford hates you.
There you go.
I don't wonder, actually, and I'm over it. But either way, I just need to know if D. Icy Hopkins is cold or not. That's the question. Greg, your answer.
I think he's probably pretty solid. Yeah.
Chilly?
Freezing.
John? Warm or cold? That's all I need to know.
You sure it's not dicey?
Like, I don't know how it could be if you have the. You know what?
He
Maybe
takes
that's
the bones
it.
and goes in the parking lot?
Maybe that's it because this whole conversation's dicey because you don't know which way to go. So
Maybe,
that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to meet with him. Just have a conversation on this whole thing. Yeah. All right. So sticking with the Auburn football conversation, some of what Andy Burcham said about running backs, a little bit of clarity there, Greg. going further with the quarterback discussion on level of confidence, multiple guys playing, I think we've talked about Ashton Daniels and what he brings. I think Taylor Green would kind of be his comp for me. I'm not saying he's the exact same player, but just how he runs, his body type, kind of how he throws the ball as well. The release somewhat similar, but they're not the same. Jackson Arnold, twitchy, quick. He can tuck the ball and go in a hurry.
Yeah.
Ashton Daniels a little bit more of a lumber, but when he gets going, he can run past you. So you kind of want to see what you have in game situations. If you did design things in the run game for the quarterbacks, those two might not carry the exact same runs because they give you different things.
Correct.
So I don't think it would be a bad thing to see Ashton in the offense, and maybe what he brings it's a little bit different. It's just I don't know if I want to see it very early because you've made all the points about Jackson Arnold, confidence, get off to a good start, get going quickly. I think that's what Auburn fans want to see in this opener against Baylor.
Yeah, and I think there's reason to believe when looking at the quarterback run game, they are going to lean heavily on it. Whether or not it's the primary thing that they do on third down, short, red zone, I think that's the most likely spot that you'll get it. But I will be surprised if quarterback run isn't a huge part of their approach. I really will. I'll be really surprised by that. I'm not saying
if that's the case, you definitely need Ashton Daniels ready for a
100%.
Series, for a quarter, for
Absolutely.
a 2-game stretch.
It's absolutely 100% possible, which is why I think they brought Ashton Daniels in to begin with. And they could have taken 2 freshmen. They could have done that. Could have taken the guy that I'm blanking on his name. Who's the third string guy?
Deuce Knight.
Deuce Knight. They could have taken Deuce. They could have taken a developmental guy. Instead, they decided to go take an established veteran that would have likely been a starter elsewhere and put him in, a backup role and paid him decent for that as an insurance policy. So I think they anticipate quarterback run being a big part of what they do.
Well, one place that I know is not de-icy, it is just icy, would be Bromberg's.
Yeah, it's terrific. You can get ice there. Natural diamonds, one-of-a-kind natural diamonds. Absolutely beautiful stuff that they have there in the Bromberg store. Both locations are amazing. Right now, they are improving and renovating the Mountain Brook Village store in an effort to make sure that elevated experience is taken to the next level. We already know the sales staff's incredible, super knowledgeable. The selection's amazing. They have so many different options that will benefit you long-term and make sure that they are kept in your family for multiple generations, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, you name it, one-of-a-kind jewelry, natural diamonds that are, of course, one-of-a-kind. It's just a special experience. That's why it's the only place I've shopped since we moved back, and it's why the only place I will continue to shop since we moved back. It's Bromberg's. They're the very best. Check them out in the Mountain Brook Village store, and then check them out you can check them out online. You can also check them out at the Summit. It's Bromberg's.
Before we go to break, I do want to give props to Jolly, who tweeted in the show a little bit earlier during our conversation about grills. Does Bromberg's do grills? 5 question marks.
Don't know that.
I have a feeling they could figure it out.
I think you can buy the diamonds and have those put in your grill.
Okay.
Don't know for sure, but I would imagine you can buy loose diamonds and take them to your grill maker and get it taken care of.
A lot of diamonds in Alabama's new Beats by Dre commercial also. Have you guys seen this?
I hadn't seen it. Where is it?
All over the jacket for Ryan Williams. It's an interesting look. It looks expensive.
I'm sure it is. Definitely expensive, I would imagine.
All right, when we come back on his quarterback situation at UNLV and an older roster, how much that's going to help him this fall. Next, Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 8:30, Tuesday, August 19th, right here on WJOX. We're going right. Coach Dan Mullen going to join us. We have a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. Coach, I saw where you had, I believe it was a comedian. So they're doing now. You get different people come in, entertain. But we talked yesterday, how many kind of conversationalists do you have to come in, morning conversations with your guys about what's going on in Las Vegas, what's around the city? Like, don't do this. Be careful with that. Watch out for this. It feels like that's just a little extra compared to a lot of other coaches.
It's actually, to be honest with you, it's actually the least amount you've ever had in your career. There's so much interesting things. College campus. And in, whatever party or there's a football, there's the college in Las Vegas, there's off season where the planet sphere, the next many different things. Those things it was one of the guys out of such great energy, least distraction is your things.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. Golf course. I love to get out to the golf course. Look, first off, that will be. How have things gone?
Good. I'm excited. How are we? Our secondary is really good, or we're not very good in the pass game. All those seasons when you get ready for game one. One for me, it's been a couple of years since I've been on the sideline, so I'm fired up for game one. Our players are ready to go hit somebody different, and it just gets to be Idaho State this year. And, it's one of those things for us, especially year one in the program, so many new faces. I don't know very few of the guys on our team have I ever gotten to see live or coach live on the sidelines in a real game, in real live action. So I know we're fired up. I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to see how this team performs, not going against each other, how they perform on game day going against somebody else.
Dan Mullen, UNLV head coach, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All right, so let's go into the roster just a little bit. Let's start with quarterback. You've got an interesting QB room. Where is that QB situation for you right now?
Both guys have battled, with Anthony Calandra and Alex Orji. Both guys have really you start in this battle of learning the offense, learning a new system, adjusting to it, and then us putting them in situations that they do well. They both have some similarities, but they do have differences in their games. And, it'll be one in game one. We're going to have both guys will play in game one for us for sure. And it's a long season. But I want to make sure on game day too, I want to see what I've seen in practice be answered on the field in a game and see how guys respond to that pressure and that adjustment right now. It's been one thing learning the offense all off season. Now it's this week is adjusting. How do they learn a game plan? This is our first time, all of us together, of putting a game plan together and seeing how they adapt, with the different checks that we're going to use in this game. But we're going to play both of them this Saturday and then see, kind of make decisions from there moving forward.
Could it be a scenario where you go with a 2-quarterback system throughout the season? I know you've done that with success in the past. Best example being Chris Leak and Tebow back in 2006. But in a perfect world, do you have one, or are you perfectly comfortable knowing that the skill sets of Orji and Calandra are so different, you could actually end up playing 2 all season?
Yeah, I think as long as the quarterbacks have different skill sets, it certainly makes it easier if you're going to play both of them, right? Because you're kind of putting them in to do what they do well. It's trickier if they have the exact same skill set that you say, hey, I'm just going to, then you're kind of just rotating quarterbacks to rotate them. So the fact that they have a different skill set might offer us that opportunity to play both of them. But, one of the things, those guys are really close, in today's world. I mean, they both have played. They both started games in major conferences. With Alex at Michigan and Anthony at Virginia. So, they have experience. So we're going to, in the end, I want to have them both ready to play for the season. I know if we have high expectations for the program this year and for this year's team, to do that, you have to have depth and you have to have guys ready to go play. I think they add depth to the quarterback room. But they're, like I said, because of their skill sets, you might see both of them all season long.
How much does experience help you? And it always helps everybody. But if somebody were to turn you guys on week one, they're going to hear names that they've heard. JoJo Earl, we know him. Like Varkey's Gums, I tried to tell people when he transferred from North Texas to Arkansas, I was like, this kid can play football. Like, he's got a load of talent. Coy Moore's been around the SEC. Kevon Lee, people are going to remember his name, obviously, where he played in the Southeastern Conference. How far ahead of the curve did that put you as a first-year head coach?
I think, one, I mean, it certainly helps with the entertainment value of things. And I think that's the transfer portal world is people are tuning in saying, hey, I remember watching this guy or I remember recruiting him. We have that. I have several guys that played for me when I was at Florida. We have the guys that we recruited. I mean, Kevon Lee had a huge year at Penn State a couple years ago. I know I recruited him, especially down in the Southeast United States, we have a lot of former SEC players on our roster right now. So as people are tuning in and saying, hey, I remember that guy. I remember watching that guy. I think it certainly helps. I think it helps us. It helps in game one for us and you're already seeing it, some of the maturity you have on your team of the adjustment to game week and, really starting with yesterday's practice. We got practice here this morning. Coming up shortly, but that experience for the guys of, hey, I've played in games before. It's not wide-eyed. It's not like, oh wow, it's going to be a lot different. It's that kind of that energy and that excitement of, coach, hey, we've done this before. I'm ready to transition. I'm ready to get out there on the field and make things happen.
When you look at all the new, has that altered your traditional install? All the new players. I know it's going to be different anyways. You're a new coach, but have you had to maybe adjust how you install your offensive and defensive schemes because of how many guys that haven't played together? Has it changed your approach at all from a coaching standpoint?
Yeah, just a little bit. You kind of go at the pace of the players, and then you try to talk as coaches and say, hey, all right, what do we have to control as coaches because I don't want to put it on these guys' shoulders, or they're not ready to have all of it thrown onto their shoulders, and a lot of it, especially at the quarterback position, or you get a little wordier, of saying that you have maybe taking some of the flexibility away, at a receiver. Hey, we're gonna call this play, but depending on where you put your split, there's three or four different ways you could run this route. And during the course of the game, I'm going to let you adjust to all three different ways on your own. I think when you have guys that are really experienced, they're sitting there and they're saying, hey, I know all the different ways I want to run this route in the course of a game. Our guys, they're still learning it. So, we're going to kind of adjust that more and maybe control it as coaches a little bit more. Some of the flexibility, even with the quarterbacks, some of the checks, some of the things, and that, like, hey, if you can get to something automatically if you see and you like it because they're comfortable in the offense. It limits you that way a little bit. But I think that's a lot is the new way of college football. When you see very rarely do you have a quarterback going into his fourth or fifth year in the system or in the program. If you do, what a benefit that is. That, I mean, when you get into Greg, as a quarterback, you walk into year 3 and even year 4 into the system, the coaches go through installation. You're like, okay, hey, let's get to installation 7 and let me know how I can check and use it on every single play, not just the basis of teaching it. So you do kind of maybe hold the reins a little bit tighter as a coach with everybody, with all the new faces.
Would you ever address a quarterback taking the field or in practice with anything along the lines of, hey, don't mess this up. Hey, be careful here. Hey, don't hurt our field position. Hey, don't throw an interception. Don't turn the ball over. Would that ever be a part of sort of your delivery to a quarterback?
Yeah, every play. I always tell the guys, I know everybody hates it. All I want our quarterback to be is a great game manager. And I think that is the most poorly understood used term in all of football. A manager, like anything, right, that does anything, or anybody that's in charge of any organization, they need to put us in a position. A game manager puts us in a position and does what it takes for us to win the game. So if they go out there and all you need to do is check us into the right play and hand the ball off, let's do that, right? If you need to check the ball down on a play, let's do that. They play guys in the NFL a lot of money. I tell our quarterbacks to check the ball down. Hey, if there's a minute 45 left in the game and we're down 6 and I need to throw it on your shoulders to win and you need to be a superstar, go do that and carry the team. The game manager needs to do whatever it takes for our team to win. And that includes when to be smart, when to take chances, when to be aggressive. I think those are all of the things. And all the time I'm looking at the quarterback and saying, that understanding and learning when it's time to maybe take a chance with the ball and when it's time to be conservative and protect the ball. Those are some of the most important things that quarterbacks have to learn, and you look at all of the top guys. Patrick Mahomes, you go turn on his highlight film, he does special things. You go watch him in the course of a game, he's checking the ball down left and right, here and there, not until he needs to, and then he does it. And so that's one of the things I think of all the guys I've had throughout the years is when you have time is really making sure they understand, hey, it's time to push the ball down the field. Hey, it's time to just check it down and take what they give us. Hey, it's time to scramble and make something electric happen, or it's time to just throw the ball away, or just, hey, we're going to check into a run and take what the defense gives us and play field position. So that's one of the things that you're constantly on that I'm always with the quarterbacks on, of how to handle every situation and manage the course of the game for us.
Coach, we appreciate the time. I know it's early out there in Las Vegas. How have you just enjoyed all of it, though? I'm interested to know. Do you have time to? Has it been cool to get around the city? Like, is it better than you imagined? I've just always wondered, living in Las Vegas, what it would really be like. We think it'd be cool. Some people say it's annoying. I just don't know.
I love it. Listen, when you live here, it is such an awesome place to live. As Greg said, my golf game right now, Southern Highlands Golf Club is closed right now, and it's a little hot out. You got to get out on the field early, before that heat really kicks in this time of year for us. But you know what? It is a fabulous place to live. I mean, when people say it's kind of a small town, it is. It's a big city in a small town. I mean, you're talking. It is. You can get to every top restaurant in the world is at your fingertips. Every show, every bit of entertainment. It's the sports and entertainment capital of the world. It's all right here at your fingertips. And, you get in the car and you're leaving. If you ever want to go to the Strip, which a lot of locals don't. I went to the Matt Franco comedy show the other night, walked in, and Matt's like, "Hey, where are you from?" And we're a family. Like Las Vegas, he's like, wow, it must be a good show if you're coming down to the Strip, because locals, I know y'all don't like to come down to the Strip. But it's all right there at your fingertips if you want it, and it's not if you don't. And you have such a great community, great place to live. I've really enjoyed living here. And I think the family now, we just finally got into our house, so the family's just moved out here finally full time to start the school year. So my wife and kids are all out here starting school, and everybody's really enjoying it.
Just be careful, Coach. We're on in Alabama. Coaches can't play golf. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. They're not allowed to do that. So.
I heard that's a faux pas down there, right?
It's not fair. It can't happen. We appreciate the time. We're really excited to watch your team this year, Coach. Thanks for taking some time with us.
I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.
There you go. Dan Mullen, head coach at UNLV. Just so interesting, man. Like his roster he's got, the offense he's going to put in, how he's got to put it in, who he's leaning on. I think it could end up being a really fun team to watch this year.
You pull up the R lads which does a great job keeping track of all the depth charts. And these aren't 100% accurate, right? But I'm just going through and
It's
looking
a lot of orange, man.
in there too deep. And usually blue is a returnee, orange is a new addition. And then you have freshmen that are usually light purple. In there too deep offensively, you have a grand total of 7 guys that are the color blue out of 22.
In the too deep. Correct.
In the too deep. On defense, you have 7 guys that are blue with another 15 that are orange. So in their too deep, meaning their top 44 players, 30 of their top 44 are new additions by way of the portal. And that's not including the 3 deep, which has more orange players that are on the list as well. So it's crazy, and they could be pretty good because I like some of their personnel. Like they have guys that have played high-level football before. JoJo Earl being an example from Alabama. Alex Orji from Michigan. Anthony Calantria.
Chief Borders from Pitt in Florida.
Chief Borders have been around for
I
a bit.
didn't know what NIL deals he's got out there in Vegas.
Marquise Gums, who played at Arkansas.
In North Texas.
And exactly. Just a handful.
Jake Pope, Bama, Georgia.
Yep. Denver Harris, formerly of A&M and LSU, and UNL, and now UNLV, and prior to that, UTSA. So a handful
Is that the
of
Columbia,
guys,
South Carolina locker room guy.
a handful of guys that are definitely well traveled, but several of which are on school 3. But hey, if the stars align, I mean, the talent is there.
There's definitely talent. You just got to get on the same page. And if he can do that, then maybe it will look good. Maybe it will be as it pertains to college football. One is a visual that I need to know if you guys are okay with. Is it right or wrong? We'll discuss that. 2 is ball that I do not think you will believe the amounts discussed for what and how they will or will next on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. I quickly want to get to, we mentioned Ryan Williams and his Beats by Dre commercial that's out. Are putting theirs out. DJ Lagway is in the Florida version. He's putting theirs out. DJ Lagway is in the Florida version. He's carrying a duffel bag that almost looks as though it's supposed to be some sort of weathered alligator skin, like a denim. Mostly don't believe it is or is supposed to be alligator skin. I think there's a chance it could be some sort of like different version of alligator skin. John said it's homemade. I can guarantee you that is not the case. I'll get to the bottom of it and find out where he got it and how much it costs.
It looks like it's homemade, like someone like knitted or crocheted it.
Not for him in this commercial. What would you put the over-under at that for that bag, Greg? I'm going to say 1,500.
Over.
Over? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
Bags are expensive.
Yeah, especially designer.
Real expensive.
I do love the shorts walking into the stadium for both guys, something I wish we could have done when I played. The friggin' suits on game day was miserable in September.
Not fun.
It's just not, there's no excuse for it. Shouldn't
the good
happen.
news is we were outside for like 5 seconds.
And Tuberville actually changed that the year after I left. He said, he was like, you know what? He's like, yeah, them guys need to be comfortable going to games. I was like, where was this last 2 years? September 18th in a suit. Walking 1.5 miles in Tiger Walk.
Is that how long it is?
No, but some feels like
Felt like it.
Big games, it feels like it's 10 miles. It takes forever. It's awesome. So I'll just ask this question. If it were, or a player were, to be on Florida's football team and carry around an alligator skin bag, that's actually going against yourself, correct?
Pretty much. Almost like being de-icy.
De-icy.
Or is that a more creative way of saying keeping your family members' ashes in an urn?
That's a good thought. But I don't
like,
think,
oh, Billy, we're not going to bury him.
I definitely,
bag.
I don't know. This is tough because I don't know for sure. Like you just compared.
Oh, Gary the Gator. He's still with us.
The urn
we
reference.
Carry him every day.
I don't know for sure. I got to double check this. I don't think there are any actual alligators on Florida's team. I just got to double check. I don't know for sure. I think Al and Alberta are not alive.
I've seen them play. They're all there. I've seen the Gators play.
Well, they don't look reptilian from my vantage point.
You must have missed those gray uniforms.
You must be. I mean, you might have a different vantage point on the field than I do. You're up close.
You didn't see those alternates they wore that year?
I did. That was 10 years ago, though. The statute of limitations has run out on those because those are criminal. Those were literally the worst uniforms in the history of uniforms.
Honestly, give us a worse college football uniform than that.
They were somewhat creative, so I acknowledge that.
That was not creative. It was 100% dumb. And the person at Nike that got that cleared it, Phil Knight should have immediately fired him.
Down.
I don't care if you created half the Jordans or every Kobe or whatever other Air Max, you're fired. Anyone who thinks that's acceptable is gone from this Department of Creativity. Goodbye.
Done.
You're secretary now. Seriously, give me a worse college uniform than that. Oregon's had some doozies. A couple people have tried some weird ones. I will say, anybody who ever tries to wear the leather helmet look in a real helmet, dumb.
Down on that.
Don't do that. It does not look good. Why? It has a face mask, so it's not a leather helmet. Stop. But that's the worst uniform I've ever seen in the history of college football.
It's probably up there. Now, interesting, creative, thoughtful, perhaps, not applicable. My biggest struggle with uniforms is mostly when teams don't wear their colors. That's my biggest challenge. Like, to me, when Oregon is playing for the national championship wearing icy whites that were beautiful, I might add, with a silver feathers, I don't even know who that team is. That they're not wearing their colors that I associate with Oregon, which are green and yellow with a little orange. That's where I struggle.
Whoa, look at this Wisconsin giant logos on the shoulders.
See, now those are fire. That's
I've
like
never seen that one before.
That's like
if you're watching on YouTube, there that is. Whoa. Virginia Tech orange camo, also bad. I will say those Wisconsin helmets right there with the giant regular
those.
capital W
And with the W in the middle of the jersey with the number.
Yeah, the number's small. It's like
it's not bad. It's like
rugby jersey.
It's like a hockey jersey with like the C is actually your number.
You're talking like that BYU wear colors that aren't yours, like purple.
Those were their colors for a little bit. They
Those
went to like a navy. They went to a navy for a while. BYU did.
These is Football Scoop's worst uniforms of all time. Actually, in modern history. They have the Tennessee black jerseys in there.
I think the Tennessee is some of my least favorite.
There it is, in all its might. Disgusting Florida uniform.
Look at
Yuck.
that.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9 a.m. Hour number 3. Glad you're with us. 800-239-9569. You want to get in. Talk Auburn depth chart, quarterback, running back, multiple quarterbacks playing. That there was something to discuss with you that I completely mind-boggling. Right? We know money generated, revenue share. There are a lot of different ways football, where it is, how different things of that nature.
On uniforms? Yes.
I wouldn't have had a number either. Deal, right? Like there's an agreement in place through X amount of jerseys a year.
Well, knowing how those apparel deals, so you get obviously X amount in cash, but a lot of it is actually negotiated in trade. So shoes, cleats, workout gear, jerseys, what have you.
Per Front Office Sports, this season, Middle Tennessee will wear one helmet and two jerseys. my assumption would be home and away. And that'll be it. Now, if I told you that they're bailing on the alternate uniforms and they're not going to go with different face mask colors or helmet colors, or there's not going to be a white, silver, and blue helmet or a silver special jersey or a blacked out jersey, how much would you even begin to assume that will save their program?
Oh, gosh. I have no idea.
I don't think I would have either, which is why I thought, maybe nobody else will, that this was so surprising.
$3 million.
Okay. $668,000.
Yeah. Just on jerseys.
Just on not wearing more than two helmets, or not wearing two helmets, more than one, and only wearing two jerseys all year. They're going to almost save their program $1 million, and they're putting the savings to NIL.
That's not surprising when you really think about it, because I feel like apparel and these apparel deals, having had a Nike deal when I was in the NFL, it feels a little bit like a government contract where it's like, all right, well, that helmet is $1,100 when retail it's like $600.
Yeah, they charge you that. They charge you that because they can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's a little bit of a government contract. It's like, all right, yeah, I'll take a cup of coffee. Perfect. That's $21. All right, hey, we need a bar of soap on the space station. Awesome. That's a $472. Whatever
you do
it may
have to
be.
get it there, so I imagine the shipping costs would be out of this world.
Fair enough. Shipping and handling is included.
Is it Prime?
Yeah, I don't know.
Next day delivery not available.
I'm not surprised. Like with Nike, with the Nike contract that we had, you had, $10,000, $15,000 a year to spend on the Nike Elite website, and like a T-shirt would be $41.
Yeah,
but he didn't care because it was free.
Right, it wasn't
basically.
your money.
Yeah, so it didn't matter.
I go along a couple of the other things that we have seen at smaller schools recently. We talked about Brian Vincent being named the interim athletic director at ULM. Could that be something down the line where people say, let's start combining these jobs? Yes, it makes it harder. Yes, it's more complicated, but then we can actually go pay our head coach the money that we need to pay him to keep him or to go get him from somewhere. Oh, by the way, you have to do athletic director duties also.
Yeah.
Or co-athletic director, and name your women's head basketball coach the other co-athletic director. And therefore, the two sides of the sports are covered. The point is, these schools are finding ways to be creative. And I understand that recruits, kids, they love the uniform. They love the swag. They love the gear. They love the look. But you ask any of them on any street, anywhere, any school, being recruited by anyone, would you rather have 7 helmets and 11 jerseys, or would you rather have $5,000? We all know the answer.
Correct.
And the only ones that would say 11 helmets and 7 jerseys, their parents are rich. That's it. And they might still take the money. So It's really intelligent, I believe, from Middle Tennessee's perspective to say, we're going to have to cut something.
Correct.
So we'll go back to a home jersey and a road jersey, and we're wearing one helmet this year, and that's it.
Yep.
And I will tell you this, like Oregon per se, I've always wondered how the helmets work. Like some of those colorways, I don't think you're getting those flipped on a weekly basis.
No,
I think you have to have more than one lid.
You absolutely have several helmets. If you're Oregon, if I were to guess, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that those are you probably have 10 different helmets, if I were to guess, which I think is kind of strange because once you get your helmet, it's like a nice pair of running shoes. Like it's something that you kind of break in, you get used to, you're comfortable with it. Only knowing that because I think I've helped fit like 6 third-grade football players this year in their helmet and putting air in it and making sure it fits properly and stuff like that. So it's something that you kind of just get used to. But yeah, it's strange for sure. The other thing I'd say about this as well is like when we were in school, it was all about the gear because that was a legal way to pass on value to the players. Like there were limitations about how much food you could get. We only got one meal a day. You got to pick your meal. It could be lunch or dinner. You got one a day, which to me, looking back on it, was like the most ridiculous thing ever. I mean, as a college athlete, you have to eat a certain amount of calories to maintain weight. And as a college student, you have no money. So you're going to eat garbage if they can't feed you, which is what we did in order to just keep weight on. Looking back on it, now you could take some protein shakes and steal those from the complex, but that was probably somewhat frowned upon. To be frank, they weren't very good to begin with, so you didn't love them. But the way that they could basically give you money without giving you money was by giving you gear. Now, you couldn't sell it, but at least you didn't have to buy clothes. You didn't have to worry about any of that. You had as many shoes as you wanted. You had as many pairs of shorts and shirts as you wanted. And you had a ton of jerseys. So the guys were kind of into that. We, even at Alabama, felt the pressure to bring in an alternate jersey in the Nike Pro Combat era against Mississippi State in 2010. Now, they didn't do anything. It looked just like our normal jerseys, except you had an American flag on the shoulders, and I believe the jersey letters, the numbers themselves were like a very, very faint houndstooth. That was it. So we even felt pressure to do that at Bama, and you don't mess with Bama's uniforms ever. So it's kind of strange that was such a thing, but I'm not surprised to see it coming back to earth a little bit because it's an unnecessary expense.
Yeah, kind of coming back full circle. So it's intriguing to see what some of these other teams in different places are doing just to sort of make ends meet or try to get a little bit extra, try to get a leg up. I don't blame Middle Tennessee one bit for doing this. I think it's actually a brilliant move. And I mean, what are they going to beat you in recruiting by saying, well, they only wear one helmet? Well, they have more money to give me. And that's why they did it. So I think most recruits would be on board with that.
Totally.
And trying to get that as well. All right, let's get to some starting quarterbacks around college football. Before we do that, tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services.
They're a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home when they need your whole home packed up and moved. Your company headquarters moved across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased and need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website's crockermovingservice.com. That's crockermovingservice.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Service for your next move.
Russell Terry tweeting in, UGA Power Ranger versus Boise was pretty damn bad. It was not as bad as the Florida actual Gator uniform. No,
the UGA Power Ranger was a bad one.
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good look. But
when you have a traditional kit, you can't mess with it.
I would agree.
You just can't do it.
Which brings the question, Houston Love. Cole, would you be down to see Auburn break out an alternate uniform?
No. You can change the face mask color. We'll allow that.
And that was like the all-white face mask with the white helmet. That was a great look on the road with the white uniform. That was awesome. The metallic orange face mask was great. Go to that every now and then. But y'all don't want orange jerseys? No. I told you, Alex Lincoln asked Tuberville for that every Friday in our senior meeting. Every Friday. Can we wear orange jerseys this week? No, thanks. Okay, moving on. I don't think you want it. And I think just because there's pictures of old-timey teams wearing it, I don't think it would be great. I just don't. Don't mess with that uniform. It doesn't need it.
Not necessary. I don't want it. What I don't get is
there one traditionally that's great that has been messed with that you've said, okay, yeah. Like when Penn State puts the numbers on the helmet, I'm like, that's a good look. It looks good. I like it.
There are a couple of moderate change.
It is. There are a couple of those darker, like gunmetal Ohio State uniforms that they wear that I'm kind of like, that's not your uniform, but it looks good.
No, I'm out on that.
But Ohio State's does not need to be touched.
No, don't mess with it.
I agree.
Like
800-239-9569. You want to get in on uniform changes.
When Michigan was going through their Adidas stuff and they were doing all that different stuff and you're putting the numbers on the helmet and they had,
Well, keep in mind, they couldn't even wear the real colors because Nike owns those colors. So they couldn't wear maize in those uniforms, the Adidas. There is a different color yellow.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
No, it's similar to North Carolina. Like if North Carolina were ever to go to Adidas, they can't wear the shade of blue they have right now. Nike owns that.
Fair enough.
How do you own a color, by the way?
I think when you're Nike, you just got deep pockets. You say, you know what? Give me that color. Let me have that.
You can't use that color. It's ours.
Give me that color. I want it.
Robbie wants to chime in on college football jerseys. Welcome into the show, Robbie.
Hey, guys. It's funny. I was actually listening to a YouTube speech by Rick Pitino last night. And basically, people were giving him a hard time on the radio, and he says people who call on the radio don't work. So my defense, I work remote, so it gives me an excuse to listen to y'all's show, man, and call in. But
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I want to say, so y'all remember in Florida, and it was a little bit of a trend. I want to say it's around 2011, 2012, could be wrong. it was like they had a blue jersey, but just like the left shoulder, it looked like one of those hunting jackets. Like with the sport coat that has like the leather on the shoulder. If you know what I'm talking about, it had like a.
I don't remember
orange.
that.
No,
I know.
Horrible.
I know what you're talking about. It kind of like went diagonal across the whole uniform, sort of. I think I remember the ones that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I will say this:
Yes.
Florida has gotten a couple of alternates right. Like when they wear the old block F, that is as clean as you can get. God, it looks good.
That was one of my favorites. Oh my God!
I think they did it against Auburn that year. Auburn was like number 10 and went down there.
Yes.
In Florida, there's a little flare pass to Damian Pierce early.
Throwback,
Went down the
like
side.
the throwback.
Yeah, it's a true throwback.
Not the like new age.
Not the Tebow new age one. That's not great. No, this is the old school circle with the F in it. It looks good.
That's a good look. Yep. I just still think the traditional orange helmet with Gators in cursive is so awesome and clean. I just wouldn't mess with it. You know what I mean? Like that's a traditional uniform. You want to go to a throwback from back in the day? I can live with that once a year. I just there's not really a team in the SEC that I love seeing an alternative unit.
Florida throwbacks for this year.
Like
I'm down with that.
Those are cool.
I love those stripes on the shoulders of the jerseys.
Yeah, because they're still wearing their colors. I still know who they are.
And it's different. It's the U and the F as opposed to just the F. This one's a little bit further back, I believe.
The only teams that I think I'm okay in the SEC with wearing an alternate are South Carolina, Missouri, and Kentucky. Those three I'm good with. If Kentucky wants to go out there with a chrome helmet, I can live with that.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
I can live with that.
It's literally just a block F on a white helmet.
That looks good.
I like that. It's really good. I will tell you this, and I'm going to sound old here. I hate chrome helmets.
Why? Blinding? Too shiny?
It's just. It feels like you're trying too hard.
Okay, but
it's like the guy with the 50-inch rims coming down. It's like you didn't need 50s. I mean, it just.
What if he got?
He's got like an Impala on monster truck rims. Like you don't need that. You didn't have to go that far with that.
You need side steps.
You just have good rims. You don't have to do all that. Like I just feel like chrome helmets are trying way too hard. Now I will say
it's a good look though.
The one semi-chrome that's acceptable for me, and it's not even chrome really, but like when Notre Dame does like the extra glitter.
They've been doing that.
A little bit of like a shinier glitter on the helmet. I'm down with that.
They do that for every game now.
And I'll tell you this: when Notre Dame puts like just the green shamrock on the side of the helmet, I think it's a good look. I think it's a good look.
No.
And the green jerseys for Notre Dame are also good every now and then.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Yes. You're wrong.
Well, that's Golden Domer. Golden Domer. Are any of Notre Dame's alternates a good look, uniform-wise?
Well, this is the thing. You know, Notre Dame kind of started this whole alternate uniform. A lot of people don't understand the story behind it, but in 1977, they were playing USC. It was a huge matchup. Notre Dame comes out during warm-ups wearing their traditional blue uniforms during warm-ups. Then the students had built an actual wooden Trojan horse to throw back to the history of the Trojans. Notre Dame players pushed out the wooden horse and come running out in alternative green uniforms. So
did they win the game?
They did, and they went on to win their national championship.
I kind of wish they would have lost because their legs would have been gassed for pushing a damn wooden horse out on the field. But
look, alternate uniforms for Notre Dame are traditional. Now, this whole new thing that kind of started in the 2000s, that's different. But no, I'll tell you this, Greg. Now, you're kind of we've kind of welcomed you into the Notre Dame family. And you know, you're kind of
Greg, you're in.
Scenes, yeah, you're kind of behind the scenes Notre Dame fan.
Boom.
The alternate Notre Dame uniforms are very special to Notre Dame fans and Notre Dame family. So be very careful what you say about the alternate uniforms because the green uniform holds a very special place in Notre Dame. We only bring it out. We got the Push Bush 2005.
Well, see, I remember it the way you just described it is what Lou Holtz did against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Am I right?
Yeah.
They came out and warmed up in their Navy jerseys, and then when they came out for the game, they were in green jerseys. And I think I've heard the story told that they didn't know when they went back in after warm-ups, they were all hanging in their lockers, which you can imagine how fired up you'd be.
That's the thing. It's a very special thing. And I'll tell you this, the Notre Dame helmet, it's not glitter, by the way. Don't never say that. Notre Dame doesn't wear glitter. We don't shop at Claire's. Notre Dame, when they have the helmet that's actually handmade, where they go through there and circular polish the gold in, and it makes it have that, the dynamic 3D kind of look.
The sparkle?
And no, not a sparkle. It's gold, my friend. We don't have to put glitter. We have
It's
real
not
gold.
rhinestone.
So, yeah, but anyway, the point is those helmets are amazing. I've actually seen them in person at nighttime, and I mean they just glow. So I'll say this. Sometimes we have the Shamrock Series where we kind of celebrate the alternate uniforms, and some of those I really like. But to me, in a big game, you can't just use it any time. But when Notre Dame in a huge game comes out in the green and the gold, that is very traditional for Notre Dame. We're not trying to do it what they're doing now, but that is tradition for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is when they bedazzle the helmets, they look better.
Notre Dame?
Correct.
They always do it, though. Like, I have yet to call a Notre Dame game. I've yet to call a Notre Dame game in my tenure as an ESPN employee, and I don't know how many Notre Dame games I've called. Probably 20. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
There's not been a single one, though, where they did not have the extra shine. Now, their practice helmets, when you go watch them practice, they're just the normal, the normal helmet.
They don't glimmer.
No. But on game day, they wear a different lid, and it's actually
when they put
painted.
the sparkles on them.
It's called high definition. Yeah. It's called high definition gold, and awesome. There's a special way of doing that. But they changed that up. I believe it was around 2012, 2013, where they started doing that primary helmet. Used to it was just spray paint, legit. Like the Rudy movie, where they put gold flakes and spray paint it. But
when they get that thing twinkling, that's when it really ramps up.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I know people are going to say I'm biased, but there's nothing like that gold helmet come running out under the lights. I mean, it just has a very special look. I love Alabama, but a lot of people don't realize, back in the 60s, Alabama did wear an alternative uniform, too. They were one of the first ones. They wore a white helmet.
I think it looks good, too.
People have kind of wanted that to come back,
and
I'm a little torn on it because it's very standard. It's when you watch the game who it is. That's my sensitivity. That's my sensitivity to alternate uniforms. If you can do it tastefully and I still know who's playing, we're good. I can live with that.
I look at it like this, Greg. I think when the traditional powers, especially if they've used the uniform in the past, I think it's cool when they bring it back. To me, when it's the new money, I would say, Oregons of the world, that they just don't have that much tradition to fall back on, so they're trying to create something to be special. I don't like that. But when it's the Alabama of the world, the Michigans of the world, the Notre Dames of the world, and especially if they've used those uniforms in the past, it's still traditional. And so it doesn't come off as cheap and cheesy. Whereas when I believe if Alabama, and let's say y'all are playing in a huge game. I mean, let's just say it's a night game in Tuscaloosa against a top 10 LSU team. Y'all come running out of the tunnel in an all-white, man, I might be singing Dixieland tonight.
Oh, there we go.
But
Thanks
the thing
for the call,
about it,
Domer.
you have
Appreciate
to make sure that you keep the most recognizable aspect of your uniform intact. Alabama's the numbers on the side of the helmet. That is Alabama true and true. Notre Dame gold helmet. Like, it has to be a gold helmet, pure gold, sparkly as can be. Whatever color jersey you want to wear, I could care less. As long as it's a gold helmet, we're cooking. I'm fine with that. If you're USC, you better have that Trojan on the side of your helmet. If you're Ohio State, you better have a traditional Buckeye sticker on your helmet. If you want to change the color, it depends on how good you are. So you'd have 6 or 7.
You also get them for going to class.
You'd have 6 or 7. If you go to class, you'd have 7 or 8.
You get some for being on time.
On time. You got to have the Buckeye sticker. Like, everybody has their one thing that everybody's like, all right, that's Ohio State. Okay, that's Bama. Okay, that is USC.
I see what you're saying, though. Like,
okay,
that Ohio
Texas.
State helmet, the silver glitter with the stripes down the middle, it doesn't need to be black. It doesn't need to be gunmetal. It's, you know what that is when you see it. And there's no denying what it is.
Do you value the helmet or the jersey more?
Helmet.
100%. They don't say, oh, it's a good jersey game. They say, no, it's a good helmet game.
Good
all right?
game.
Who says,
well, it feels the only jerseys, let's be honest here. How many just jerseys are super recognizable? Oklahoma?
Yeah,
because it says Sooners across the top.
If you don't know what that one is, we got problems.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a ton of just jersey. If you just laid the jersey by itself, you would say that's so, like, Oregon's going to have the feathers. So yes, but it could be one of 1,700 different colors or
but
color
they don't
combinations.
Always have the feathers. But
I think
Oregon,
they always do. It's just sometimes they're
Part of Oregon's
a different
appeal,
shade of the same color.
Part of Oregon's appeal is that they have a different jersey every time they take the field. Like that is their calling card. So I'm fine with them. Whatever colors they want to roll out there. Now I prefer them to at least maintain a certain colorway because I want it to be synonymous with Oregon. But I know that that's part of what they do. That's part of what made them cool. It was genius marketing because Oregon had no history whatsoever for the most part, with the exception of a player or two and a team or two back in the day, until the Joey Harrington era started, and then that carried over now into what was a tremendous run all the way through the Mariota era, and then a bit of a dip. Now they're back up. But when they got cool, they had every uniform combination known to man, and that made them really cool and trendy and hip.
What other jerseys would be most recognizable? USC, because they have the
Texas, SC.
Oh, because Texas says Texas on the front. Yeah,
SC,
so that
yeah.
would be, yeah. SC's got the stripes on the shoulders.
Yep.
I'm just thinking just jerseys. Like what other jerseys would be super? South Carolina has Gamecocks on the front.
Yeah.
So you would know that one, but not really just because of like the actual jersey.
I think LSU because purple and gold.
Which one?
White.
They were purple.
Yeah, but the purple's dumb.
But they wear it.
Still dumb.
The only thing they've done that's been dumb is that hypercolor helmet they did a couple years ago.
Like, I love that LSU wears white at home in their big games.
It's great. It's great.
Like that to me is a calling card. They want to play Southern or they want to play, Southern Miss or Arkansas State and wear their purples, fine. That's I can give it that. But when Bama and LSU tee it up, Bama is always wearing crimson, LSU's always wearing white, regardless of where that game is played. I love that.
I'm with you.
It's amazing.
Same. All right. So just some jersey uniform talk there. If you went most recognizable helmet right out of the gate, where would you go?
SC or Texas?
I would have gone Texas. SC's up there, but I do feel like SC there are a couple of schools that have a very similar logo with different colors, and I think that may work against them just a little bit. Texas, there's nothing like that anywhere.
No, I mean burnt orange is a one of one.
But even the logo and how clean it is on a white helmet, like that's. Have they ever worn a different helmet? They've had the numbers on the helmet.
Numbers on the helmet. That's
right.
I think the only alt I can think of.
Right.
Yeah, those are probably the two. They just don't change. They're the variation. I've never seen the SC helmet change off the top of my head. And I don't think Texas has ever changed with the exception of putting the numbers above the Longhorn a couple times. But I haven't seen those in a while. Those would probably be the top two. I think Michigan, the winged helmet is very, very, very unique and special. But those are probably the three that are at the top that are really unique. Bama would be close. Others have this. The Georgia Southern, for example, has the numbers on the side of their helmet, but it's not crimson. So I think Bama is close, but those are probably the short list there.
Yeah. All right, we'll continue that conversation. We've got starting quarterbacks to announce across college football as well right after this on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys stopping in. It is 9:28, Tuesday, August 19th, right here on Jox. 800-239-9569. You want to get in, talk any college football, Auburn quarterback running back situation, Alabama running back situation we haven't really gotten into yet. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. Big Ten playoff plan. Tony Patini wants 24 to 28 teams in, Greg.
Oh,
good idea, bad idea.
Worst idea ever.
Why?
Because it's dumb.
It includes people, though.
Glad it does.
It's involvement.
Here's my biggest problem with this. Those that are in favor of something like this are sitting there and they're suggesting, in order to defend this absurd format, they're saying, oh, well, it adds intrigue to games that wouldn't otherwise be intriguing. Don't disagree with you. We are totally on board with that. Explain to me this. It's great that you want to now add intrigue to a game like, I don't know, Baylor and Colorado. Good game. So let's just say there's only so much intrigue. Let's say that the cup of intrigue in college football is measured in units, and let's just say up to 100. Let's say there's 100 units of intrigue that can be applied to a college football season. Well, back in the day, a lot of the intrigue was on games like Bama LSU. So you put 7-8 units of intrigue on that game. Michigan Ohio State, put 10 to 12 units on that game. Well, you give away, let's say you give away 8 to Bama LSU, you give away 12 to Ohio State Michigan. You have 80 units of intrigue left. Spread them out throughout the college football schedule. Well, now, if you try to implement a strategy like this, you now take Bama LSU's intrigue level to a 1, and you take Ohio State Michigan's intrigue level to a 3. So now you have 96 units of intrigue left. And you get to apply 1 unit of intrigue to BYU Arizona State. You get to add another intrigue level to Boise State UNLV. So while it's great for the small schools, it's awesome. But for the big schools, you've totally devalued the regular season.
It's fair.
And guess what? I hate to break it to you. This is going to sound really mean. The big schools matter more from a viewership and a popularity standpoint. So you want to absolutely cut off your nose to spite your face? Implement a model like this. How many of y'all are looking for the highest cliff in town when Bama loses a basketball game? Probably not many. When Auburn loses a basketball game, not many. You're disappointed. You want to win, of course. But guess what? We get to the tournament. We're all good. We'll take care of business from that point forward, and we'll see where the chips fall. That's the way it goes.
Okay. Does anybody else want to debate why this might be good? John, Damian, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because it's insane.
I concede my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're going to have this conversation, you also have to have a follow-up of realistically chopping down the regular season, which none of us want to see happen.
No.
But you have to. We're going to play till March. I guess it'd be a good lead-in for March Madness, I guess.
At least you wouldn't be competing with the NFL anymore.
You'd have your Sundays and Saturdays. Don't worry about it. Okay. Let's get to some starting quarterbacks around college football.
That's all you wanted to add?
What is there to add?
Michigan,
28 teams?
Michigan would make the playoff last year.
28 teams. No.
You would have absolutely no disappointment. You would have no penalty for losing games you shouldn't lose.
All 8 of them.
In Michigan's case, they would have made the playoff last year. Don't worry, that blowout to Texas, that doesn't matter.
Nope.
You know what? When you guys lost in remarkable fashion to Indiana, that doesn't matter. When you guys lost last year to whoever else they lost to, Illinois, doesn't matter. Hey, but guess what? When you beat Ohio State,
boom.
Guess what? That also doesn't matter.
Oh, well, never mind.
Oh, it's the dumbest thing of all time. And we all know what the Big Ten is doing here. Like, we all know what they're doing. They want 16 teams with automatic qualifiers. So what do? It's like having a conversation with my 6-year-old about bedtime. He knows his bedtime's 8 o'clock. So what do? We start with the debate. He says, I want to go to bed at 10. Okay, good try. You're going to go to bed at 6. What do you mean? I don't want to go to bed at 6. No. I don't want to go to bed at 6. He goes, what about 9? Nope. You can go to bed at 7. You know what we'll do? We'll go to bed at 8. He goes, deal. That's what we're doing. We were at 4, and we went to 12. Big Ten wants 16. So now they throw out some absurd number, like I did, by saying 6 o'clock bedtime, by saying 28, in an effort to warm people up to being willing to adopt a 16-team model with automatic qualifiers. Guess what? We're not taking the bait. Not happening. No, sir.
Well,
I'm out.
Game Day Men's Health doesn't want you to take the bait of other places around town that think that they can get you back to feeling better. If you're suffering from brain fog, lack of sleep, lack of energy, if you're feeling on edge, Game Day Men's Health wants to get you back to normal. They can do that by you going to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, sign up for that free consultation today. You go in, free PSA test, free testosterone test. You get your baseline health. They let you know where that is. Then they present the options, which, by the way, you can save 10% on any of those options when you mention Mac and Q when you walk in the front door. And there's almost no cost to get started with this entire thing. Very little upfront fees. That's going to separate them from a lot of the other places in town. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to find out more information. We will give you more information on starting quarterbacks across college football next, right here on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Let's get to some starting quarterback news around college football. Some of these guys ready to get off the mat and make their first start, ready to get off the floor of the locker room, floor of the bench, and actually get out there and be the starter for their football teams. Speaking of flooring, Greg, if you need a new one, who should you call?
That'd be Shannara Flooring. Fu and his guys have done a great job of being able to put together a ton of inventory, and he's going to be able to pass on their abundance of inventory onto savings that you can actually take advantage of. Like if you get that CoreTech flooring by Shaw, which they have 40,000 square feet available for you, you can get $10 off per box by going and getting it at fuandyou.com. $10 off per box. Think about how much savings you can accumulate if you were to totally update your kitchen. This is dependable, durable, waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof, you name it. It's going to increase the value of your home or business. So highly recommend you going and checking out Fu and his guys at Shannara Flooring. Go to fuandyou.com. You get 12 months financing. Remember, $10 off per box when you order that CoreTech flooring from Shannara Flooring. Fuandyou.com at Shannara Flooring. Fuandyou.com.
It's almost time to play that game again. Oh, he still plays? Oh, he's still around? There will be some familiar names here. North Texas has a starting quarterback. That is Drew Mestamaker. Now, I had that bowl game last year. You guys remember us talking about this?
Yes.
This young man had not started a game since 9th grade and goes out there because of, I believe, 2 transfers and an injury leading into the bowl game, became the starting quarterback and actually played his rear end off. Now, it's a pretty cool story that he battles this entire offseason and is going to end up being the starting quarterback for the Mean Green. Beating out whom, I ask?
Chandler Morris.
That's what I was thinking.
No, he's at
Virginia.
Yeah, he's gone now.
By the way, that bowl game for Mestamaker, 26 of 41, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
I remember watching it.
Also, from a rushing perspective, 9 for 55 and a touchdown.
Hey.
He was awesome.
About it.
They did lose the game, though. But hey, it doesn't matter.
Not important. It's a bowl game. Doesn't count.
He beats out one Reese
Witherspoon.
Dismukes. No.
Poffenbarger.
Where was he at before?
Still playing.
Chicago Cubs. He was a pitcher.
No. Old Dominion, Albany, Miami.
Oh,
that's right.
man.
Miami.
He came in for Derek King, right? Was that right? When Derek King got hurt?
Derek King. Oh, boy.
Isn't that not who he filled in for? He came in later in the year. Somebody got hurt, right?
No, he was supposed to be like the guy before they got Cam Ward.
Yeah, because he played late the year before, correct? Due to an injury. I'm almost positive.
Yes. Well, no, because they had Emory Williams started in place of, golly, who is that guy that they had?
Was it that
This would have been 22.
No, this would have been like 2022 or 2023. I'm going to say 2023.
23, Ja'Curry Brown, Emory Williams, and Tyler Van Dyke.
Van Dyke got benched. Emory Williams went in. Yeah, he was on. I feel like he might have been like in that mix.
Wow, how about the 21 Miami quarterback room? Tyler Van Dyke, De'Eric King, Jake Garcia, Ryan Rizk. I'm not finding. Oh, he played last year. He was 6-7 last year.
Okay.
All right, if you say so. I studied some Miami tape for the bowl game. I didn't see that.
He was dealing though, 6-7.
Moving on, Cal has named true freshman Jaron Kioe Sagapuletele as their starting quarterback.
That's the freshman.
Hence, when I led in as Cal names true freshman Jaron Kioe Sagapuletele as the starting quarterback.
Who did he beat out though?
That's where it gets fun.
Devin Brown.
You already know. Okay, well, there goes the drama for that one.
Number 33?
Beat him out.
What?
Remember, he left the quarterback battle because he knew he was going to get the job at Cal.
Yep.
Congratulations.
You played yourself.
Yep. UMass has named Richard Jr. quarterback Brandon Rose as their starter. That'll be against Temple on August the 30th. Ohio State has named Julian Sayin their starting quarterback. 27 snaps last year. By the way, that's 27 more than I thought he got. I didn't even know. 6'1", 208. He'll get his first start against
Texas. He played
Texas.
against Tennessee.
Yeah, 84 yards and a touchdown last year. I don't know if it was all in that game.
No, it wasn't.
I think I had turned that one off by that point. It was no use in watching anymore.
Why? Because you picked Tennessee?
I picked Tennessee in a route. Yeah, I was way wrong on that one. I'm not afraid to admit it. Because if y'all think Ohio State was playing the way they played in that game, the 3 previous games, you're wrong. Sorry, I hate to tell you, but it did not go that way. We debated this one last week. Syracuse is named a starting quarterback. Steve Angeli, Notre Dame transfer, beats out Ricky Collins, LSU transfer, and Jakari Williams. Rice has named redshirt freshman Chase Jenkins as their starter. That'll be against ULL.
Who did he beat out? Oh, if you don't have it, I thought these were.
Do you have it? Do you know?
No.
Not
clue.
all of them are beat out guy who has played college football for 11 years.
Well, it's better if it is.
It definitely would have been more entertaining there.
All right, Rice.
He beats out A.J. Paget and Drew Deveillet.
How do you know he's French?
Develly. And Lucas Searhorn and Patrick Clayton Jr.
Okay.
Luke,
new
is
head
that
coach.
Is that Jason's son? Searhorn?
I think that that's Seahorn or Voorhees, one or the other. Head coach Scott Abell. I did not know this until I read this last night when I was doing prep for the show. You know, he came from Davidson, which I watched him coach against Stanford a couple years ago. Offense, really good.
Okay.
Greg's not going to like to hear that, but I'm just telling you, he's a cool guy too.
Cool guy, cool offense. Out.
Do you know what he calls his offense?
Air afraid?
No, his offense actually puts it's the Rice gun choice offense.
Gun choice.
You get your selection of whichever one
in
you
Texas.
want.
That checks out. You get the choice. You get the choice to carry guns.
It's perfect.
Take your pick.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know about the city of Houston, what the rules are there, but
The gun choice offense. I like that.
All right, so and then a couple of other injury notes we need to get to here quickly. Texas Tech running back Quentin Joyner torn ACL. That is not good for them.
No.
I expected him to have a big year this year. Super talented kid, transfer from USC, was going to be a big help in my opinion. Michigan freshman offensive tackle Andrew Babalola, season-ending knee injury it appears. That's not going to be good for them. I think they were banking on him to at least help. Maybe not be full-time right from the get-go, but I was hearing things that was one where a freshman offensive lineman actually could have really given them some good reps this year. So a bummer for him as well. So that's some of your injury news and starting quarterback news around college football. Some surprises there, G-Mac? I know Syracuse
surprises.
you didn't. Well, Syracuse you said Angeli, maybe not.
I know they like the Ricky Collins kid from LSU.
If you watch him throw in warm-ups, I don't know how you don't like him because he throws a beautiful ball.
Well, they like his talent. I just think Angeli is one of those guys that is never going to wow you. He's going to be a little bit like Ian Book, where
Like a
he's
Ty
just,
Simpson type, sort of.
Well, you fast forward to the end of the game. It's like, how'd that guy go 24 of 29 for 212 and 2 touchdowns? Like, how did that happen? Like, he's going to be one of those guys that you just are like unimpressed with how he throws it, but all he does is move the chains. Like, I just think he's a good chain mover. He's a really solid player. And it probably makes sense to put a guy with a little more experience. Not that he's played a ton, but he's played a little more experience against that Tennessee defense in week 1.
Now, I did mention Brandon Rose won the starting job at quarterback for UMass. He did beat out Grant Jordan from
UCLA.
Yale. Nobody y'all would have known that. Neither would I. But we were just having fun with guys that got beat out at different places. So some quarterbacks we thought were going to win those jobs did not. Others that did. What does it mean for week 1? We'll discuss it next right here on Jox. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 9:51. You know what we do at the end of every show. We can't go back to our chosen sons of Soldado, but we do go to bad box score of the day. Before we do that, I'll tell you about the Gusty Goulas Group. Why? Because they've served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. What can the Gusty Goulas Group do for you? Help you get into a new home because they know what homes are coming available before they're on the market. How about Google reviews? Google Gusty Goulas Group. You're going to see over 850 five-star Google reviews. They've got the best realtors all around town that know the most customers. They have the biggest customer base. That's why they're going to be able to help you. You want to know the value of your home? Go to GustyGoulasGroup.com right now. Button at the top right of your page. Smash that button. Very little information. They're going to let you know what they think it's worth right this very second. GustyGoulasGroup.com or just Google Gusty Goulas Group today and start packing. Bad box score of the day coming your way.
Personal foul, 69. Offense. He was giving them the business.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here. Excuse me.
That's the game.
I have double bad news for our friends in the Elf League.
Oh, boy.
I have good news first, by the way. It's playoff time.
Let's go.
In Madrid, Spain.
Madrid.
Your playoffs will be the Madrid Bravos against the Stuttgart Surge.
Let's go.
And the Rhine Fire against the Nordic Storm.
These teams haven't come up in bad box score very much. They must be good.
Yeah, that's why they're in the playoffs.
Correct.
The bad news is what happened to two of our teams. We'll start with the Raiders
of the Lost Ark.
Not in this one. Tyrol taking on the Cologne.
They're the Centurions.
They are.
Yeah.
They're now 0-12. They lost 63-6.
Over?
Oh, boy.
63-6.
It happens.
They actually outpassed the Raiders.
Out what?
105-69.
Oh, boy.
They, on the other hand, were outrushed 310-64.
The fact that they got triple dig throwing it, though.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. They were 9 of 16 with 2 interceptions.
Oh, that's what.
Sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Raiders Tyrol did not take a sack in the game.
Oh boy, you're just absolutely shocked to hear that.
Trench work.
Third downs. They won 63-3 and were 2 of 2 on third down.
So
that's some first down efficiency right there.
That is
We don't even need a third down.
Ripping and running that rock.
God, Ken Austin would have been miserable that day.
So mad.
Not even a single call in the game.
I'm so bored.
Other side, Cologne Centurions, 3 of 10 on third down. It's not great.
No.
Not great.
So the bad news is Cologne finishes the season winless. 0-12. Just like the Helvetic.
They are.
No idea.
Storm?
They're the mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
They went down to the Prague. This is one where usually you would win it, Damien, by
Penguins.
just saying one of your
Panthers.
normal ones. They're the Lions. Close.
Lions.
69-12 over the weekend.
Okay.
You give up 12, that's a problem. The other problem was 29-9 first downs. The next problem for the Helvetic mercenaries is they were held mercenary on third down. They were 1 of 12.
Okay. It's not a good look.
They were also outrushed. Holy mother. 433 to 142.
Triple up.
Now, I know you're going to find this surprising, but Prague made it into the red zone 8 times. They scored 8 touchdowns.
That is not surprising. Not when you run it like that.
They also
what do they do?
They also
in the
had
run
2
game?
turnovers and 11 penalties. They lost the penalty and turnover battle and still won the game 69-12.
See, what would the review have said?
69-12. There's not much to be said on that one. There's just not much to be said. William Patterson for Prague, 20 carries, 294 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Let's go.
Do you feel like you need to get a hand on this tape, see like what kind of counters they're running, and see if they're going inside, outside zone? Like,
I have a feeling that we walk away from this tape and feel more about the tackling than we would
think
the actual
tackling
run
is a problem?
plays. Yeah. As in
that's
just
probably
complete
safe.
inability to get guys to the ground.
Probably safe.
It's safe to go to your CBD store as well. They have products that are going to help you get a better night's sleep, products that can help you lose weight. The Trim by SunMed on the shelves now at the largest brick-and-mortar CBD retailer in the world. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp seal on those products. That's why they meet and achieve a certain set of standards. Arthritis, anxiety for you or your pet. Skincare, gut health for you or your pet. Your CBD store has answers at one of their 3 locations, Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Case in Cleveland, Trussville just off 459. Your CBD store where good health hits home. Appreciate Paul Finebaum, Rick Neuheisel, Andy Burcham, Dan Mullen joining the show today. If you missed any of those, go check them out at joxfm.com. Podcasts live there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Also, you can go rewatch the YouTube show at any point in time throughout the day. Search Jox945 there, and you can watch us back or watch 3 Man Front live coming up next right here on Jox.